Check out the fun pages that we're going to be making today using the new Cane Border Maker. Hello scrapbooking buddies, Debbie Martin here, and we are back for the October edition of the Savvy Scrapbookers. If you haven't joined us before, what we do is there's three of us, Donna Gus, which is the lazy scrapbooker, and Nicole So, who is at Nicole Scrapbooks, and myself at Debbie's Scrapbooking Buddies. We take a paper pack each month and we divide it up between the three of us so that you get to do 6 pages, okay? So when you're done watching my video, make sure you hop over to Donna's and Nicole's page. Links will be right below so you can use all your paper and your embellishments in your pack. So today we're using the Golden Harvest designer print, and we're using Golden Harvest embellishments. And I'm going to be using the brand new Cane Border Maker Cartridge from Creative Memories. So let's go ahead and get started, okay? The 4 pieces that you need are the orange kind of beautiful leaves. You have this beautiful close-up of leaves and these pretty leaves in the back. These are going to be our base paper, so set those aside. And then we're going to use this gold and this beautiful like red watercolor, okay? Those that we're going to use. So let's go ahead and get started, okay? So what you need to do is we're a border maker. We're going to be using this candy cane today. And we're going to use a kind of, hopefully a new technique for you that you haven't done before. So what you're going to need to do is pull your scoring blade out. Okay, and if you haven't changed our blade, super easy to do. We just set that in there, pop it in there, good to go. And what we're going to be doing is we're going to score both of these pieces of paper. Let me pull them out, and we're going to score it at 1 1/4 inches. So there's your 1, the long line's the 1/2, and the 1/4 was the one that's right in between there. So line that up. We're going to score that to give us a nice score line. And then we're going to flip it over. We're going to do the same thing on this side. Okay, so we're going back into 1 1/4 inches. Okay, give it a nice score. And then we're going to do the same thing with our yellow paper here. Put it in at 1 1/4. Give it a nice score line. And 1 1/4. Now, if you don't have the scoring blade, you can just use a ruler and do this too. This is just a much easier way to do it. Okay, we're going to set our trimmer aside for a minute. And we're going to take our score line. We're just going to fold it, okay, till we get a nice little crease. So did you have to score it? No, but it's giving me a nice straight line, okay? And we're going to do that on this side too. Find our score line. Okay, and do the same thing with the red. Oops. It's jumping around on me. Same thing with the red. And on this side. So if you haven't done this before, it's kind of a fun technique that you can do with some of our Border Maker cartridges. So if you haven't used the housing unit, this goes below here. It clicks out so that you know how far to put the paper in. So we're going to put the paper all the way in. This has a magnet on it, so it's going to hold our paper, and we're going to flip this back around. Okay? Get it on a nice flat surface. That's kind of important when you're punching, okay? And then we've got our candy cane border that we put this in here. And it doesn't really matter which end you start punching it, but you are matching up the notches. Okay, so we're going to punch all the way down. Just like that. And we're going to flip it around. And we're going to do the same thing on this side. Okay, put it in the paper guide. The magnet little thing down, and there you go. Now we're ready. Got it on our flat surface again, and we can punch from the top this time because it really doesn't matter which end you start punching from. Okay, move that aside, and we're going to do our other paper the same way. back in here, open it up. Make sure our paper is straight. Flip the paper guide back around. Hope you've been enjoying all of our Savvy Scrapbookers. Let me know below. And I'm going to take this time to invite you to subscribe so you don't miss any more Savvy Scrapbookers or any more of my crazy ideas I come up with. Make sure you click around on the page, because a lot of times I started this channel because I would come up with ideas and my customers would love them, and then they come back to me 6 months later and go, how'd you do it? And I'm like, I don't remember. So this is why I have my YouTube channel, so I can always go back, see the directions, and help you guys out. I try to keep things quick and easy to help you get your pages done. Okay, awesome. Okay, so now we're done with our border maker. We can move that to the side. Get rid of all these little leftovers. And we're gonna go back, and now we're gonna need our trimmer, okay? So we're gonna take our scoring blades out of the trimmer and put our straight blade back in. And I love that our trimmer holds all these blades. Like, it makes me so happy because I don't have to worry about losing them. Where'd I put the blades? Where are they at? So now I'm just gonna try to lay these a little bit flat, okay? And we are going to cut it off at 2.5 inches. So now we're gonna bring it back in. I'm gonna make sure my trimmer is straight for you guys to see. Putting it in at 2.5 and trim. Bring the same thing around. We're gonna do that on all 4 pieces. 2.5, trim. Grab our red, beautiful paper here and do that one more time. I love fall. I have some very fun fall pictures to show you when we get to that today. It's one of my favorite seasons. So 2.5 again, and one more. What's your favorite season? Put that in below. I always like to see. I just wondered, I love summer too. Winter's probably my least favorite. But yeah, type in the comment. Let me see what your favorite season is too. Okay, so now we're left with these 2 pieces. Hopefully they're straight. They should be. If you're one of those people that want to double check. So I'm going to tell you what we're going to do right now. We're going to just make sure this is straight. Looks pretty straight to me. So we're going to be cutting 6 mats. So this is about 7 inches, a little over 7. So we're going to bring it down here to our 6. We got this little extra strip. We're going to turn it sideways and bring it to the 4 and bring it to the 4. Okay, so now we've got 3 of those mats. Let's do that one more time. Make sure this is straight. It is. Take it down to the 6. There's an extra little strip. And 4 and 4. Perfect. Now we've got our mats cut. I know some people don't like to put their mats on at the time, and that's totally fine too. That's totally up to you, what you want to do with that. You can just have them cut and ready to go on the page. So now we're ready to make these fun little fan things that I showed you at the beginning. So we're going to fold them back again like this. So we want it's kind of like an arrow. We want them going down, okay, like that. So as we fold it, we're going to fold it back in half. Just grab a pair of scissors, or you could use your cutting system if you, your trimmer if you wanted. So we're going to go down to the large one, and we're going to cut it off. I'm going to get this close so you can see it. Best way probably over here. And just line it up with the line and cut. Okay, let's do that again so you can see. Bring it up here, line it with the line, and cut. That's 2. Let's do it 2 more times. Line it with that line. And 1 more time. Line with that, and there you go. Okay, Now we're going to come back and we're going to cut an inch off the bottom of each one of these, okay? You could line them up on top of each other if you wanted. I don't know, sometimes when I line them up, it gets a little crooked, so I'm not going to. But we're just going to take 1 inch, and I feel like sometimes it's easier if you're just doing 1 inch to cut from this direction. All the rest of the time, I cut from that direction. So we're taking 1 inch off. Okay. 1 inch, and last but not least, let's do this one. Okay, now these are ready to go. We're ready to start putting our pages together. Okay, so let's set that aside. Let's grab our pages out. We're using this beautiful brown on this side and the orange on this side. And you kind of look at it, I don't know if there's kind of a leaf direction. Once your picture's on, you probably won't see it anyway, but let's just go ahead and play with that. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be mitering the corners. I don't know if you've mitered before, but it's pretty easy. The corners are not going to be perfect, so we are going to be putting our embellishments right in the corner. But this is what we're going to be doing. So let me show you up close how to do that, okay? So we're going to put the corners so they're like this. I'm going to grab my repo tape, okay? And remember, these are like 2.5 inches. So we got 2.5 inches. I'm going to bring this in here so you can see it. I'm just laying it so that the corners are straight. Okay. I mean, it's kind of fun like that. You could leave it like that if you wanted. But today we're going to miter. And all we're going to do is, because these where the edges are going to match up, if you were doing paper, you would want to use your trimmer and go from here to here with your trimmer, okay? Because you'd want it nice and perfect. You don't have to have it perfect today because we're going to be putting embellishments there. So all we're going to do is we're going to cut from this corner to this corner, okay? So I'm just taking this, my scissors, and just going up there. Okay, now I'm going to peel this top piece off, and then there's going to be a piece on the bottom that we don't need. Okay, and then that's going to be our corner over here. Let's do that one more time, just in case you missed it. We are going to put a little adhesive on here because that's just going to keep it in place for us while we cut it. Putting it right there. Okay. Once again, we're going from this corner to that corner. Okay. And we're taking that little top piece off we don't need. And there's going to be a bottom piece we don't need. And then we're going to bring it over here, and that's going to be this page. So let's go ahead and stick it down now. So what I want to do is we're going to be doing this about 1 inch from the top, okay? So when you're using your mat, or you can grab your ruler, we're going to use about, let's do 1/2 inch. I'm thinking 1/2 inch is going to be better. 1/2 inch from the top, and about 1/2 inch from the edge. So you're watching it here, and you're watching your point here, and the same point should come down there, okay? And then we'll bring this one over about 1/2 inch from the bottom. So let's go ahead and stick one of them down. We've got it laid out how we want it. If you're using repo tape, that's going to be excellent because you're going to put a little extra. Let me see if you can see that. I think I was off. I'm going to put, just because we folded it there, I ran it all the way down there. Okay. Now I'm going to bring this in about 1/2 inch from the bottom. Let's make sure that our paper is lined up nice and straight. Okay. Perfect. And let's do the same thing with this one. So once again, I'm running my tape straight down the middle. You could use regular tape if you wanted right there. And then I'm just going to hit this on the edges because I don't want the edges to pop up. I think this is a fun little look for this. It's giving you a different look for your candy cane. And then we're going to pop that in right there. Now, if this was regular paper, it's going to look really cool in the corner. But because this was punched, it's a little bit off. But you're going to see that we're going to be putting embellishments there in just a minute, so it's going to be covered. Let's do this other side over here. So once again, we're doing about 1/2 inch from the top and about 1/2 inch from the side, and then doing the same thing over here. We're also going to want to make sure that it's lining up here because we want the pages to flow. So let's go ahead and put our adhesive straight down the middle. Okay. Hit your edges. And of course your little points. You want to make sure those are sticking down. And let's get our paper straight and centered. And I don't think there's really a direction on this paper either, so I think you're okay no matter which direction you put it. And let's just make sure that it's straight at the 1/2 inch line, maybe just a smidge lower. There we go. And let's put our last piece in. Okay, once again, we're taking adhesive straight down the middle. Okay. If you get any, they're little tiny clear dots, which I absolutely love because they're very forgiving. Okay, so we're going to bring this 1/2 inch from there all the way up our nice mitered corner. Look how fun that is. So fun. These could be shorter. You could make them both maybe cut off 2 inches if you wanted. You can play with it to see how you like it. So now we are going to put our mats down. So let's just see. Kind of like the orangey red color over here and yellow over here. Now, I am not one of those that usually only does 2 pictures on a page. I like to do 3. So I feel like I need to put this in here, but if you didn't want to, you don't have to, because maybe you're not putting your mats down. So I'm going to show you a little trick right now if you're going to do that. So let's grab our embellishments too, and we're going to lay those out before we put our pictures down. I kind of like these big acorns because they literally cover it perfectly. Okay, so there's 2 of those with the acorns with the leaves. Look how fun that is. And I don't know, let's throw in, I don't know, maybe this up here. Let's bring this orange one over here like that. And maybe this orangey peachy color over here. And I don't know if we want an acorn or maybe just an acorn on both corners. Like that, and tuck it underneath. Okay, get it how you want. And if, once again, if you didn't want to put these 2 on, totally fine. It looks kind of cool without it too. But I'm going to put it on because we've got pictures to put on today. So, because we just went to the pumpkin farm. So now here's a couple other things. You could center that like that if you wanted. I'm going to probably bring it over because I want to see a little bit of that. I'm going to bring it over about just like that on both sides. We could also put that leaf on with foam squares so that it would pop a little bit more. We could put it up here. Maybe I'll put it over here. I kind of like that better. Okay, let's go ahead and stick our mats down, and then I'm going to show you where we're going to use foam squares. Okay, so I'm going to bring this, let's make sure our paper's straight again. I'm going to start at about a 1/2 inch, just like we did, kind of cohesive look right there. Okay. And do the same thing. Oops, with your red, I didn't actually stick mine down. Okay, so 1/2 inch. That's about good, like that. Go ahead and put it down. Now, if you didn't want to put your mats down, you could just put a little bit in the back, just to show you this is where I had them laid out. Or you could just keep them with these pages that you've completed, okay? I'm going to bring this over here, kind of line it up where it's centered like that. And let's go ahead and put these down at the same time. And once again, if you haven't subscribed to our pages, make sure you do that because you don't want to miss any of the fun stuff that we're doing. We're doing this every month, taking this paper pack and stickers or embellishments and dividing them up just so that you can have some fun new pages to work with. And I love having pages done ahead of time because I'll show you when I go to put my pictures down. I'm not one of those that has to have this be the right direction, and I'll show you why. But once again, I'm trying to make this side look like that side. That looks good. I am going to tuck this leaf up underneath here because it pops a little bit more. With these, you're going to have repo. You just can't, seriously. You would sit here all day long trying to put those down. So I'm going to bring that over here. I don't know if I want to pop these or not. I don't think I am today. Sometimes I like to use foam squares, kind of gives it dimension, but we are trying to cover up that line today, so I wouldn't want that to interfere with that. And then we could pop our little pine cones if we wanted. Okay, and back over here with this beautiful oak leaf. Let's put some adhesive on the back of that. Okay, bring that this direction. And cover up our line. And our other little pine cone over here. Like that. And let's grab some pictures. Okay, so for me, I've got these pictures. I already cut them down. I love using 4x6 mats because all you got to do is cut 1/4 of an inch or 1/8 of an inch off of both sides, and you get these really fun pictures. Okay, so we could do something like that. But let's say I was going to put my pictures down, and I had something like this. Look how fun that looks too. So don't get like hung up on, oh, I don't know what to do with this picture because it's going the wrong direction. It just looks like it's an artsy thing that you kind of did. Now this has a little bit more like peachy orange color, so I like it on this page a little bit better. And the kids were in the corn here. This was a ride, these giant swings. We went out to Bingston's farm on Saturday. So fun. So let's go ahead and stick these down so you can see how the page ended up. Once again, all I did was take 1/8 of an inch, 1/4 of an inch, whichever you prefer, depending on how much mat you want to see. But almost every single picture, 4x6 picture, you could do that. And when you do 4x6 mats, you get a lot more pictures, a lot more mats out of a piece of paper. So this page turned out so cute. It was such a fun day. It was cold here in the Midwest. I don't know where you're from. Type below. I'd love to hear where you're from. I'm here in Indiana, and it was Saturday. It was like 47 degrees. I think the high was 55 or something. It was cold, but we had a great time with our grandkids and the kids. So there we go. We are done with our page. I hope you enjoyed this. Make sure you click the links below and go watch the other 2 pages. And happy scrapbooking.